going to show you how to make the vindaloo using lamb. It's on the bone lamb, it's lamb chops. I've got 400 grams of fresh lamb, which I've marinated with 1 tablespoon of vindaloo and a couple of tablespoons of vinegar. So that's been marinating for about 15 minutes. The pan is heated up nicely. Okay, I've got all the ingredients there I need. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to put the oil in. Okay. And then I'm going to add the ginger and the garlic. As you can see. Now, I repeat myself often enough, and I'm going to do exactly the same. Please don't burn it. Whatever you do, don't burn it. If you feel as the flame is too high, take the pan off the heat like so. All right, and so that you can work with it. I'm adding the 2 onions in. And I'm putting it back on the flame because the onions would have absorbed and taken up a lot of the heat. Salt. About a teaspoonful. Okay, and that needs to fry and caramelize for about 4 or 5 minutes. It's been cooking for about 5 minutes. Okay, and it's just, see, that's what I mean. Don't leave it for too long in case it starts burning, and if it does, it'll get bitter. Now this is fine, there's nothing wrong with this, it's just sort of gone slightly golden. All right, keep an eye on it all the time. I've got 400 grams of baby potatoes which have been boiled for about 10 minutes. Okay, so they don't have to cook too long with the vindaloo. Okay, now our 4 minutes is up now. All right, thank God it is up because it's just right now. Okay, I'm going to add the lamb chops. Okay, and I'm going to add the tomato puree and just mix it in there a little bit like so. There, this is the typical restaurant style doing things, all right? Just mix it in and let's put the lid back on for about 3 minutes or 4 minutes. All right, so this, whoa, 3 more minutes, as you can see. That's lovely, 4 lovely lamb chops. I've got about 2.5 tablespoons of the vindaloo mix. Normally probably 1.5 would have done, just because I don't have as much meat in there. But because I'm using potatoes, it's going to soak up a lot of the spices, you see. So what I've done is I've added another spoon full of the vindaloo kit to compensate. I'm going to leave that there for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Let all the spices cook into the lamb and let it heat up and see all as well at the same time. Okay, there you go. This has been, keep an eye on it. See, it's very, very easy to burn it. Look, so if I would have left this for another minute or two, it would have been a little bit, possibly burnt. But anyway, there you go. It's ready for the water to go in now. All right, and what I've got is I've got about 8 fluid ounces of water. That's 8 fluid ounces, not quite the pint, because I'm not using 700 grams or so. I'm using 400 grams, so I'm using half of the water that I've stated. Now this has been simmering for about 2 minutes since I put the water in, and as you can see, it's boiling up now. Okay, we're going to put the potatoes in here and we're going to cook it and simmer it for about another 4 or 5 minutes, heating the potato up, and the lamb should be cooked by then as well. I've left them whole. You can cut them up if you want to. I prefer them whole, to be honest with you. Wait, look at that. That's looking like a proper vindaloo. Look at that. Your very own vindaloo in your own kitchen, which the restaurants would be proud of. Now this, the consistency of it, it might be too thin for you. For me, this is fine. However, you want to thicken it up, quite easy. I'm going to show you how to cheat. We're going to add a spoon, a tablespoon, a heaped tablespoon for that matter, of instant mash. Okay, and that should thicken it up. Now, if you do that, You can do it now, you could do it after you sort of put the tomatoes and the coriander in. But as you can see, it's sticking up nicely now. In the restaurants, what we do is we would boil up vegetables, puree them, and add them to the sauce to thicken them. But of course, you can't do that at home. So that's instant mash is the ideal substitute to thicken. Now, let's just add the coriander and the tomato. Okay, and just mix it in for a minute. Okay, and if we let that for about a minute, it's been there for about a minute. Let's just have a look. There you go, it's ready now. Look at that, that's amazing. That is brilliant. You can't beat that. Beautiful. I'm going to pour it in now. There you go. Naz's restaurant style Vindaloo. I've used lamb on the bone, 400 grams with potatoes. Absolutely delicious with the rice, with the Vindaloo. There you go. Hi, welcome to Naz's video presentation. And what I'm going to do is show you how to make the chicken balti. I'm going to use 1 kilo of chicken. It says 700, but I'm going to use 1 kilo of chicken. And all you need to do is, if you're going to use slightly more, just add an extra spoon of the masala or the spice, and it should compensate for it. I'm going to add the oil. I've got the pan on here for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. I've got about 4 tablespoons of oil here. I'm just lacing the pan like so. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is add the garlic. Now, of course, you can do this without the garlic or the ginger, but because all of our spices have got everything in it that you need. However, I would prefer to put fresh garlic and ginger because you can't beat the stuff. Okay, so garlic and ginger. Okay, put the onions in like so. Alright, and I'm going to take it off the heat a minute because I don't want to burn it. I said it once, I've said it 100 times. If you burn this mix, it's very, very bitter. It's very bitter. You just have to get rid of it and start again because it'll ruin everything else. So we need to let that simmer for about 2 minutes, then we can come back to it. Alright, there you go. Have a look at this now. This has been about 2.5 minutes and it's starting to sort of burn to the sides, but this is fine, there's no problems with that. So when it starts going black, that's when you've got to start worrying about. Alright, add the salt. These are tiny little spoons, so don't be alarmed when you see me putting 2 spoons in there, because it's equivalent to 1 teaspoonful really at the end of the day. Alright, just slowly move it around. Alright, tomato puree. I'm going to add that now. This is 1.5 tablespoons full, not much more than that. Okay, let's use this. That's 1, and I believe this is 2, so I'm going to put that in. That's roughly about 2.5 spoonful, and this is a really nice balti mix. Really, really nice balti mix. It smells amazing. The aroma is pucker. I'm going to put the chicken in the pan. I'm going to add a little bit of water because I don't want it to burn. This is probably about 3 or 4 fluid ounces, so it doesn't start burning in the bottom. All right, so it can start mixing the whole stuff, and I'm going to put the lid on it and gently simmer this now. Oh God, look at that puff of smoke on there. It's been cooking now for about 10 minutes, and as you can see, it's more or less cooked now. All I need to do is add the peppers, the onions, the cubed peppers and the onions, all right? And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put the lid on for another minute or two. Okay, and we'll come back to it in about a minute, okay? Don't go away. Right, we've been doing this for about a minute or two. There, it's those are the peppers, the onions, and everything else with the drumstick, the balti. I want us to add some moisture to him. Okay, that's just needs to be simmering for about 10 minutes now. That's all the water and everything else added on, everything done, and just need to simmer it away, and that'll be fine. It's been simmering about 10 minutes. Let's have a look what it looks like. Woohoo! Look at that! Wow, that's a nice balti. Okay, I think it's about time that we can add the coriander, and we can add the tomatoes. This is ready. Okay, if we let this simmer for another few minutes, got a beautiful balti. Oh, check me out. Okay, this is done now. This is ready to serve. Everything is, I'll take it off the flame. Everything is cooked. Okay, and let me serve it for you. There you go. Let's have a look at this now. Now remember, this will probably do you for 4 or 5 people. All right, depending on your appetite. Chicken balti using drumsticks and Naz's restaurant style balti kit with pilau rice, which is again a restaurant style pilau rice made at your home, a restaurant style balti made at your home, exactly as would be in a restaurant. Enjoy.